So today, Tabitha and I took a little walk and we've been discussing from both my perspective and her perspective why we should learn a new language, why we should try as hard as we can, and why it's good for us. I wish I had paid more attention when I was at school, when I was learning French, I really do. But when I was little, I didn't want to learn French because if you asked me to learn French,
you'd be like,
or if you asked me why should I learn French, my answer would have been, why do I need French?
You never knew you were going to move to France.
One of the good things is, because we speak English, a lot of the words are similar, like colour and couleur. I think that makes it a lot easier when you're learning French. I think anything that ends in T-I-O-N, like competition,
Competition.
is probably competition, yeah.
Or Dalmatian.
Huh?
Dalmatians. Dalmatian.
Dalmatian? Is Dalmatian?
Dalmatian.
Oh, probably.
T-I-E-N.
I like ones where there's a connection. For example, your body in French is corps, but in English, a corpse is a dead body. There is some connection, right?
Yeah. But I'm proud of myself because on French Day, they were talking all in French and we were playing this game where we had to move house and they would say the word to you and you had to grab the thing and then go and put in your wheelbarrow and then drive to the house and you had to go through obstacles. She said casquette to me and it sounded like a cap, so I took the cap and I was right.
We would like to, though, in 3 years, speak much better French, right? Me included.
French.
Fluent French. It's possible, anything's possible. And we're all taking lessons in an intensive course, a week's intensive course. So I'm looking forward to that. And I still have some French because when I was younger I used to learn French at school, just like you are now.
Not everything's possible. You can't make 2 + 2 = 5. And you said everything is possible.
But what doesn't give me confidence is when I was at school, I did 4 years at secondary school, 3 years in primary school, primary 5, 6 and 7, secondary 1, 2, 3 and 4, 7 years at French. And I also got in my standard grades in Scotland, I got the top grade, I got a 1. So there's a difference between being able to pass an exam and actually understanding what you've learned. I think another good thing about learning French, though, is all the literature that you can read. A lot of philosophy in French, a lot of history in French. It's more about expanding your horizons, broadening your mind, learning new things. And we have the perfect opportunity here because we're in France and you're immersed in the language, so you should try and use it as much as possible. And I will try the same, I hope. Well, we do have high hopes for Tabitha. Before we came to France, we gave her 3 months French lessons to at least learn the basics, learn the sounds, the phonetics side of it. Or the phonics side of it, to give her a good start.
I know some rules in French that you're not allowed to pronounce a consonant at the end of a word unless there's a vowel at the start of another word.
It's a nice looking building, isn't it?
Yeah. It just needs a repaint.
I think it's a great opportunity for kids that live in multicultural families like ours, where her and her brother, they not only speak and understand English but also French. Tabitha grew up in Denmark, so she also learnt Danish, and she could for a long time speak quite well in Danish. As soon as we put her to the international school, some of that ability was lost. She could still understand, but she couldn't speak it very confidently or fluently after, I would say, a year of being in an international school. When she was in the Danish Vuggestuen or Børnehaven, for the young kids under 4, she was speaking very fluently. But in this sense, although she can't speak the language, I think it has somehow developed her mind, at least, to be able to switch between languages and understand language in a way that I can't. For me, learning is very difficult. I've been learning Chinese for a while, I'm still not there. I've been learning French for a while, I'm still not there. But for their minds, when they're so young, they can absorb so much. It's a great opportunity for them. Of course, all kids are different. She picks up language much quicker than our son does. She's also an avid reader, and her memory is fantastic. But regardless, I think if kids have the opportunity, it's really good to grasp that opportunity and allow them to learn and immerse themselves in another language. I think it's really difficult, though, for English-speaking families and English-speaking kids, because when you go abroad, when you go on holiday, most people have a certain amount of English that you're able to get by almost anywhere in the world. And when people come to the UK or to the US, they're almost expected to speak English. So we have no motivation to learn another language. I think that's part of the reason, like I was saying earlier, when I was younger, I was saying, why do I need to learn French? It will never be useful for me. Everybody speaks English. It's a bit of an ignorant view, I know, but I didn't understand when I was younger where my future might take me. For Tabitha and Roger, I don't think they will ever have that issue, given the fact that they have never really grown up in the UK. They have always been abroad, and they have always been immersed in other languages and other cultures. So for them, it's normal, but that's not enough. They really have to immerse themselves in it. I think they need extra lessons. They need lessons outside of school. They need to be involved in extracurricular activities that are not in English. For example, Tabitha does her music theory in French, which for her is very difficult right now because she doesn't understand what they're discussing. But I told her the content is not difficult for her, so she can use her extra brain power to learn a language. See what words she can pick up. Just try and learn a couple of new words every week. It will eventually get easier. Our son is doing judo, all in French. Of course, that's a bit easier at his age. He is 5. He can just copy everybody. It's a physical activity, so it's very easy to copy the actions of everybody else. If you're asked to run to the wall, you run to the wall. If you're asked to lie down on the floor, you lie down on the floor. He just copies, although he doesn't understand. But eventually, hearing these words over and over again, he's going to eventually understand. He's going to pick up on some of the words. And after 3 years of doing that, it's amazing what they can pick up on. My theory is always just to throw them in the deep end, even if they feel a little bit out of place. Eventually, they'll start to fit in. Eventually, things will start to become more clear. I think one of the biggest hurdles for me, and this probably applies to most people, is getting over the line with actually just speaking the language and not defaulting to English when you start to struggle. You need to just try. You need to be prepared to be embarrassed. You need to be prepared to make mistakes. And I struggle to take my own advice when it comes to this. I will find myself hesitating, stuttering, and then because in the moment you're in the fear, you just then just speak English. It's easy to do that. What's difficult is just taking the plunge and doing it, speaking the language and making the mistakes. And I think I'm starting to learn this a little bit myself now. I didn't do it in Denmark when I was around Danish all the time. I just used English, and it was even easier there because in Denmark, like the other Nordic countries, they speak English very, very well. Scooter in French is trottinette, no?
Trottinette.
Trottinette.
It sounds like you're trotting like a horse. Maybe the scooter when it goes over gravel sounds like a horse trotting.
See, there's always a way to remember something.
I only remember 60 because it sounds like croissant and croissants.
My favourite one is baguettes and baguettes. Chopsticks are baguettes.
Chopsticks are baguettes.
Baguettes are baguettes.
Je mange baguettes. How do you say with my?
Avec
Mes
baguettes.
baguettes. I eat my baguette with my chopsticks. And you know why it's called baguette chopsticks? Because they're basically mini baguettes. What's your favourite French word?
What's my favourite French word?
Yeah.
There's a word I like because it sounds nice to say. It's not a very interesting word though.
What
It's
is it?
adaptateur. Adaptateur.
Adaptateur. What does it mean? Adapter?
Yeah, it's like an adapter for charging something. Just because of the way it sounds. It's a bit bouncy when you say it.
My one is baguettes. Like the chopsticks.
I also like the word baguette. Chopsticks. Baguettes. Adaptateur is better though. Adaptateur. I think that's one of the most difficult things is the gender thing, whether it's female or masculine. I like words that begin with a vowel, like tree is an arbre, but then because it begins with a vowel, you just have L apostrophe, so it's l'arbre, the tree. So I don't know if it's... Oh yeah, so I don't know if they're masculine or feminine. You don't need to know, but you do if you give it a colour. Yeah, because then if you give it an adjective, you need to change the adjective, right, based on its gender. Maybe in 3 years we will have another video like this, and we'll do it in French. Do you find it difficult speaking English and Chinese and learning French?
No. Do you?
Yes, I find it difficult, definitely.
It's very easy.
Well, you're younger than me.
I thought older people had more experience.
Yeah, more experience, but I think our brains are not quite so malleable,
What does malleable mean?
like easily shaped. What's difficult for me is switching between the languages.
Yeah, remember at the shop?
Yeah, at the Chinese restaurant. Her husband she spoke to me in Chinese, which I understood. Then her husband, who's also Chinese, spoke to me in French, which I also understood. They're just simple sentences. And then when I came to answer, because he spoke French and she spoke Chinese, my brain got all confused, and then I just spoke in English. Well, I think that's been a very interesting discussion.
Oh.
Don't you?
Yeah.
I think we learned something.
I think we did too.
I think we learned that if we are going to succeed in learning French, we need to speak it every day. Tous les jours.
What does that mean?
Every day, I think.
Tous les jours.
Tous les jours.
Tous
All
les
the days.
jours. All the days.
Yeah.
Danish is simple.
Danish is simple.
Yeah, Danish is simple. Very simple. I can understand everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Well, there you go. Danish is easy. Languages are easy, unless you're me.